we are now 6 years in the project. So OMTRO runs in Romania for 6 years, and everything started with a trip. Life-changing trip for my special guest for tonight. Hi, Kostas.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Good to be here again.
How is Romania after 6 years of traveling and teaching and having life-changing experiences?
Yes, but I don't want to talk about. Well, after 6 years, I see that a big effort has been done. And I think you as OMTRO representative and the heart and the brain of OMTRO have established a very good, let's say, position in Romanian physiotherapy world, in which I'm very proud of you because you did it on your own. So you started and you go all the way and having most of it.
I started on my own, but right now we are more than one. So,
but you're the spine, and without the spine, you know, the body cannot move forward. You have good people working with you, and I think it's important that you're not located in the capital of the country, so you have to travel a lot. That makes your effort even more important for me. I've seen a lot of people from Romania, and I've seen a lot of physiotherapists in Romania. And my last experience today, for example, was a very good one. And every time, in every group, we have people that come and they bring new and fresh, let's say vibes to the groups that you're building in.
Regarding this, have you seen an evolution of how you were welcomed or appreciated or just listened through the years, or is the same monotonic thing?
No, it was never monotonic, and I never felt that it was any kind of a problem receiving the respect of the people. On the other hand, on the contrary, I would say, the people are very cooperative, and the people are very interested, and especially the younger people are very keen to learn, which is very good.
I really think that especially for the younger generations, having this type of knowledge from the beginning of their career, it's in a certain way a blessing, but in another way quite a powerful,
challenging
thing to do, because the information that we are providing during the program, because let's be honest, we only try to create or bring the knowledge on the Romanian market, but the knowledge that there is universal. We try to not only try, but our programs, OMTRO and Hellenic OMTD and the new project that's called BOMT, in all this program, we try to put together things that were under a commission. So a standard committee took a very deep look in the curriculum, in the way that teaching is done, and they choose to offer you and us the same accreditation and the same recognition and as all the other programs in the world. So starting the career with the correct information, I think it's in a certain way very empowering, but in the same time challenging, because what are you going to seek afterwards?
Yeah, well, this is always a question everywhere. I think everywhere I teach, I see the same challenge. The difference is the time. For example, what the phase that you are now in Romania, we were in Greece some years ago. So it's a phase that it's a book that you learn and you read all the pages. So you are some pages behind, but it's a process that goes always the same, I think. It's important to have good material to work with. So it's important that the people that attend the courses have really interest to learn. Of course, in all the learning institutions or all the programs have people that are really, really interested to learn, some people that are mild, and some people that are just here out of curiosity. That is something that we see everywhere. But the thing is that the people who really attend the courses, every year you see the differences between the thirst for knowledge, I say. So I know that everywhere we have to deal with the same challenges that have to do with the level of education we provide, which has to be a standard, as you said, from iPhone, and also that the effort the people have to try and adapt to this certain knowledge. And this is very important because they have to try harder.
What is driving you in continuing this process, in continuing being a teacher and a facilitator?
First of all, for me, it's something that keeps me alive as a person. Otherwise, I would be, I would be boring in doing something that, because the more people you have to challenge you with their questions and their interests and things like this, the more they push you not to stay in the old-fashioned way of treating, in the old fashion of seeing what is happening around. So the challenge is that people who attend the courses push me to be a better therapist, push me to try to see the truth, push me also to remove my biases, which is very important for me, because removing biases is like taking the skin out of your body. So I have been forced, because of the evolution in our profession, sometimes to do violent removal of skin, which means I had to remove some biases I had in my life.
So it's not an easy process in being up to date and challenging yourself in staying in connection with the new information and the new science.
Yeah, now you came to a very critical point in my mind, because we all hear the trend about being up to date and about science and all these things, which is perfectly good, and I agree 100%. But in my opinion, we have to seek for the common sense now, because we have to make, in the end of the day, we have to find and decide what science can give us for our daily practice as physiotherapists, as clinicians. Because if we have the information that is not useful for us to treat patients, I don't think that this is useful information. So the use of common sense in combination with the science, I think, is the cornerstone of our profession.
You make one step ahead, because the next question that I wanted to ask you, was, and it still is, do you think that evidence-based practice should be an absolute must, or we need to take care of about the common sense and about also the classical ways of treating people?
First of all, common sense will help us understand how to use evidence-based practice and how to use the results of any kind of research, for example. It is important to understand what is the message or the take-home message from every paper we read, for example. Okay, so for example, I will tell you, if I'm putting something to research, for example, if manipulation is good for chronic pain, and probably it's not. I don't doubt about that. But the question, in my opinion, is who do manipulation for a chronic pain patient? If you choose manipulation for a chronic pain patient, this means that you don't know the theory, you don't know the evidence. So it depends what is the take-home message. If I use this result of the evidence to say to some professions, maybe I don't want salt, but I just give an example of chiropractors, that they have only one tool in their profession and do maybe manipulation for everything, then I accept that. But as a physiotherapist who knows the theory behind the chronic pain, I would never choose to do to a chronic pain patient manipulation as a treatment. So this is about the common sense. It does not make sense to me to make manipulation to a chronic pain patient.
About common sense, about evidence, and about the combination between these two aspects. And then how do you look at things that evidence show that they are not doing anything, but they are still very commonly used in treating patients and stealing patients' time. It's not about money. It's also about money, but it's more about the patient's time and the patient's beliefs.
Yep.
Because we still have a lot of therapies that we use in physiotherapy that we know that they don't work, but we are still using them.
Well, I think you have to see that in a frame of the place or the country, the health system, the mentality. You cannot just be like, like somebody who points the finger and says, this is not good, this is not good. If you know that, for example, ultrasound is not proven to be better than sham treatment, okay? But you live in a society or in a country or in a city where your patient wants that, maybe you have to give it in order to calm him down and trust you, and then you do your actual business. I would find it that is not honest if you just do only this, okay? But if I have the possibility to persuade my patient, I have to persuade my patient to do what is best for him. But sometimes we need to put some things during the treatment in order to maybe to overtake the mentality problems and gain the trust of the patient in order to be effective in what we do. What I'm strongly against is reinforcing the myths. So like breaking the adhesions or like doing something with fascia stretching or all these myths we know and walk around. I'm strongly against that. But sometimes you really need to also to go, especially in the beginning, not with the beliefs of the patients, but with what he likes to have. For example, if a patient comes and says, last time I liked the ultrasound, it makes me feel happy. Why not give it? Give it. And then do the next, what is for you important. Give him the exercise, but give him, if he wants the ultrasound, no problem.
When you say at the beginning, you say at the beginning of a therapeutic relationship.
Yeah.
You don't talk about the beginning of the career or the beginning of...
No. I speak about the treatment. The patient comes to me and he says, for example, I like ultrasound. It's not good to go exactly like,
I don't treat people who love ultrasound.
Okay, I tell him if somebody is obese, I tell him, okay, go and lose 20 kilos, then come back for treatment. Okay, or you have to respect the patient's feelings. You have to respect that the people are grown a certain mentality. You have to respect that the health system has some limitations. We have to take in our consideration a lot of things. We should not be arrogant with our patients, and we should not be arrogant to our colleagues. We should see some things and criticize the things that are really damaging the patients.
I really appreciate that you brought the discussion in this direction, because I always saying that the people that we are treating, they are in a vulnerable situation. They came to us because they are either in pain or they have critical restrictions that made them ask for help. So if we take advantage of a situation like this, or a vulnerable person, it doesn't make us the good guys in the story. So I totally agree that we need to put the patient and the patient beliefs in the middle of the room and just work with them.
I think that the best way to change somebody's beliefs is if we find a way to prove with our actions that what he thinks is not correct. For example, we can show the patient in the beginning some understanding issues, let's say the ultrasound that we talk about, but in the progress we can give them some exercises, or we can do some things that we know that will help him. And after this, when the patient sees the improvement, you can tell him, okay, you saw this, that was what made you better. And then you see the experience, you feel the experience. What I'm strongly against also is about the mentality of physios of pointing the finger of science.
Or pointing the finger at other colleagues that didn't do a good job before them.
Yes, this is also a matter of code of ethics, but I mean also for the people that go around and talk about only the negative things, because we have physiotherapists who go around in the world or publishing things in the media and only speak negative about some interventions. But I would really like to see how they really treat their patients. Because the easiest thing is to say, this doesn't work. Okay, we also know that some things don't work. We know that there are some explanations that lack of evidence. We know they just break open doors. But I would really like to see how they approach the patient, because in the real life, when a patient comes to you, then you have to face exactly his beliefs, his limitations, his pain, his your bad information from somebody else before you.
Okay, so we go back to common sense, because there is an old saying that says that trust it's earned, is not given. So yeah, I totally agree. We need to work with the patients. We need to work with the patient as a person, with the beliefs, sometimes with the family, sometimes with the whole experience that the patient had before. I find it very useful to tell the patients that we cannot turn back time. So even if something worse or bad happened with that person somewhere in the timeline, we cannot change that. But we are here now, and let's focus on the present. What do you think that is the future of our profession? Because we talk about what we have now, about the program, about the direction. We've talked about the past and beliefs. But what do you think should be the future of our profession?
I don't know if I can tell about the future, but I think that every country has different, let's say, future. Because in every country, there are different problems. For example, if you go to Greece, you have different health system. If you go to Romania, you have a different health system. There are some other countries where the health system is in a much better situation, so they have other challenges to face. Apart from the financial part of every health system, if you speak about the scientific challenges, I think it's to make people understand that we don't invest in machines, we invest in knowledge. And by understanding the whole profession, as many as they can, if they understand that we have to invest in advertising our knowledge and not our machines, this will be much better for us as professionals. This will be much better for the public, for the people who come to us. And this will be also much better for the health system to start understanding that physiotherapy is not about massage and machines. It's about how we examine the patient, because I have talked to a lot of doctors and they really don't have any idea what we're doing. They think that we only do electrotherapy, some massage and some stretching, that's all. And they really don't know what is physiotherapy.
Okay, so maybe interesting future to see. It's a future where doctors and people understand what us as physios are actually doing.
I don't blame anyone else but our profession. I blame us, I blame ourselves for what we are. So the more we try to go out of our comfort zone and start facing our challenges as profession, then the better the chances are for everybody else to understand what we can really offer. That's my opinion.
Okay, I think it's a very good message to take home. I thank you very much for this wonderful discussion, and I really hope to see you again very soon.
Thank you very much, Andrei. Thank you very much.
Thank you.